Okay, are you ready, City Attorney?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready, City Clerk?
Yes, sir.
City Manager?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Everett?
Yes.
Commissioner Mervin?
Yes.
Thank you. I call this special meeting of the Pahokee City Commission Tuesday, May the 28th, 29th at 11 o'clock to order. May we please stand for the invocation given by Commissioner Everett. We're going to allow Commissioner Walker to come up before we start, and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance as soon as.
Thank you.
Just leave you?
Yes.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you all.
All right, shall we pray? Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We are thankful for your grace, your mercy. And God, we are relying on your wisdom as we transact this city's business, ultimately your business. So God, we pray that you would guide us, give us a spirit of unity, a spirit of togetherness, that we may do what has well been long overdue for our city. And this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab,
Present.
Commissioner Everett,
Present.
Commissioner Hill,
Yeah, present.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Present.
Commissioner Walker,
Present.
City Manager,
Here.
City Attorney,
Here.
Lieutenant Piccolo, City Clerk, present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners, and thank each of you all for being here this morning to participate in our special commission meeting today. I'm gonna allow the city manager to give just an overview of the purpose of our meeting and some of the things that we'll be looking at approving this morning.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission, citizens, visitors. Thanks for coming out this morning. This special commission meeting is solely for providing the commission recommendations on two vetted contracts and to also move forward with some resolution approval for a lot of the renovations at Pahokee Marina. As we all know, there have been some revisions to how we are approaching the Pahokee Marina's renovations. We've took long and quite some due diligence here in ensuring that we have the right folks on board now to get these renovations done in an expedient manner. There may be an additional conversation with the state as these projects come online and we get into them, at full speed. Maybe one or two of these projects may go beyond the July 1st completion date. I'm very comfortable that we will be okay in that respect as we move forward. But today, we want to get these projects moving forward. The city attorney has done a very good job of reviewing these contracts. He's worked with the city in ensuring that we have the right language that's in them to ensure that all parties involved are the legal aspects is clear and concise, and we can get these projects moving. So thanks to the city attorney for that. I know we've been bugging him a lot about these contracts and getting this stuff out, and so we appreciate all this hard work on moving these projects forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, City Manager. Okay, we'll move right on into our topics. The first item is ITB 2018-02. City Attorney, could you read that into the record?
Yes, sir. This is a recommendation to award the Weekly Asphalt Paving, Inc. with ITB 2018. The manager can explain the financial implications of that.
Okay. This is a state-funded contract for Glade Citizens Villa, and they were the bidder that was selected for Glade Citizen Villa improvements as far as resurfacing and stormwater. This amount was awarded to the city of Pahokee back in June of 2017 at $635,000, if I'm correct, for all of that renovations. It's been a long time coming for that community. As you know, it has been subjected to a severe flooding in particular types of weather. Now, I want to be clear that once we get started out there and we fix the actual streets that are going to be renovated and we do some stormwater improvement, that doesn't negate the fact that a lot of these homes sit below the foundation of these streets, which means when the water runs off these streets, it runs back into some of the communities and some of the homeowners' actual property lines, and that's some of the concern. You will not negate that with this particular construction. It would take some continued research and some engineering and architectural design to address people's actual property. We're responsible for the streets and the sidewalks in the city of Pahokee, not your personal property. So because we sit in the muck, these homes continue to settle. So I just want to be clear about that. I don't want to address all of the flooding, but the flooding that on the streets, in the public areas, access to people's driveways, access to get out of the community, that will be addressed significantly, and they're prepared to move forward. So that's what this actual project addresses for Glade Citizens Villa.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, City Attorney. Commissioners, haven't had ITB 2018-02 properly read into the minutes. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, I offer a motion that we accept ITB 2018-02.
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of ITB 2018-02. Call for questions. City Manager, could you, if you haven't already, maybe send out just a brief mailing to those residents out there to let them know exactly what's going to be transpiring, and maybe some of the language you just spoken of is not going to address all of their concerns on their personal property, but this would help in this community.
Once we get the contract signed and they'll begin to mobilize, that letter will go out and address what we plan to do and what the corrections will be as far as this project is concerned, and also address, what residents should expect once this project is complete as it refers to stormwater.
Thank you. In addition to questions? Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. ITB 2018-02 passes by a unanimous vote. Now we'll move to ITB 2018-03. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is an invitation to bid 2018-03. The city staff is recommending the award to Lynch Paving and Construction, Inc. You'll note that this contract is on your agenda. It's item number 6. It's in the amount of $501,980.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you just give us a quick overview of this particular item?
Yes, this is another one of our projects that was funded by the state legislature in 2017 for Commissioners Park. As we all know, Commissioners Park could use a lot of upkeep and renovations. This particular project was funded by the state at $550,000. The bid was below that, so we have a threshold of money to utilize to do some additional things out there as well. But this particular project will, one, it will fix the tennis courts. It will put in I think a new basketball court that's adjacent to the tennis courts. There was parking that was intended for this Commissioner's Park that was never developed. They will do that. We'll address the splash pad, the playground sets, some additional landscaping, LED lighting, fencing as well around the entire complex. And so you'll see a different Commissioner's Park here by October 30th, which is, I think, the due line for this particular grant, because they provided those funds in advance to us. We're very lucky to get those funds in advance. We will not be spending this money from our general budget. It's already been provided to the city of Pahokee.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, City Attorney. City Commissioners haven't had ITB 2018-03 properly read into the minutes. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, I would like to offer a motion that we accept ITB 2018-03.
And I second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of ITB 2018-03. Call for questions.
Question, Mayor. One question, City Manager, that we can also let the citizen know that this does not include the water pad, because that was one of the concerns of the.
It does.
Well, it
It
actually
does.
does. We don't know the extent of what's occurring with the flooding up under the splash pad. We're going to explore it. If we can fix it with these particular funds, we will. There's a threshold there to add some additional money to that particular area of the project itself.
There's a lot going on under
So-
the splash pad.
So quick question, what specifically is going to be addressed with regards to the splash pad?
Well, one, we have to remove all of the old items out of there, and there's a company that does replacement, but that's an easy fix. The larger fix is to find out, one is to fix the drainage from the splash pad itself. Two, to figure out why it goes from a meager water bill to almost $5,000 because there's a major leak. We don't know exactly where that leak is, but it is internal in the foundation of the where the water runs off into the drainage and then goes back into the tank. There's a major leak there, and it's always been there. We just haven't been able to have the right funds to address it. So that may be more labor intensive and maybe beyond the scope of what we can afford, but I think we'll be able to address it significantly to the point where we'll be able to find out what the problem is. It's still not off the table that it might be something that we have to completely dig up and start over again. And if that's the case, then we'll have some alternatives for the use of that particular area. We just don't know until they dig.
Any additional questions? Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. ITB 2018-03 passed by unanimous vote. Now we have Resolution 2018-28. City Attorney.
Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the campground and marina painting and renovation upgrades agreement between Aruba Construction and Roofing, Inc. and the City of Pahokee. This is a contract, and it's in your agenda in the amount of $121,250.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us an overview?
Yes, sir. This is one of 6 major projects that are going to be occurring out at the marina. We are very excited to get this project moving forward finally. What will occur in this scope of work is, one, we're going to repaint all the buildings out there. There are 6 buildings out there, 7 buildings out there that will get a new fresh coat of paint. It'll be a different color, of course. And we also will be upgrading all of the restrooms, all of the freestanding restrooms, We'll be painting the campground office, the restaurant, the restrooms, the fuel dock building, which also will get renovations itself internally. We'll be replacing the tile inside of the restrooms, the faucets, the closets, stall and shower areas. We'll be updating the LED lighting, and of course painting the interior and exterior of the campground restrooms, well, all of the restrooms actually, within the facility itself. So this particular contract here, it's a heavy lift, but I think we got the right contractor to get started to move this project forward in this area of the marina. Expect to see, a really great facility once they're finished with it, painting and doing the interior work. That marina looks good from a distance, but when you get up on it, you can tell that it needs some significant painting and upkeep. And so we're excited to move this project forward with Joe Ruper and his construction company.
Thank you, City Attorney. Thank you, City Manager. Before we move for the commission consideration, are there anyone in the audience would like to speak and address this resolution? And City Clerk, do we have any comments cards pertaining to this resolution?
No, sir.
I'm not sure if you all knew you could do comments if you would like, so I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to do so. Moving on, City Commission, having had Resolution 2018-28 properly read into the minutes, what's your pleasure?
Mayor, I'd like to put forth a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-28A.
Second.
Thank you. This has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Hill for the adoption of Resolution 2018-28. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Everett?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution 2018-28 passes by a unanimous vote. Now we'll move to Resolution 2018-29. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the Campground and Marina Security Network System Agreement between Helos LLC and the City of Pahokee. This contract is in the amount of $39,203.65.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief background on Resolution 2018-29?
Thank you. This is your security system that's being installed at the entire marina, campground, and the dock house. What will happen here is we're installing HD cameras throughout the facility. The dock house will be utilized to have several larger screens, maybe possible the ones that you see here that host about 6 different screens on it, where you could watch every area of the marina itself, including the restaurant, including inside the restaurant, campground area, specifically the marina area, the fuel station area that will be fixed. All of that goes into the security of this entire facility. We don't have that now. We have some older cameras there, but they were only at one part of the facility itself, mostly centered around the restaurant. But this system here will give you a 360 view of the entire marina itself. And we've toyed around with the dock house maybe being a substation of some sort for PVSO as well to come in. But this particular project here will give us all of the security from a camera perspective that we need for the entire facility. This project will not take place immediately. We'll have to finish all the renovations first, the painting, before that installation begins. The great thing is we do have some cable, the fiber optics that are already there that he can utilize to do all of the new installations. So, but again, this project will come, once we get through the painting. Typically, when you put cameras up before painting, they get painted over, he says. So he's going to wait until the painting gets started before he begins his actual installation of the cameras themselves. This particular budgeted amount comes in probably, I think, about $29,000 less than what was budgeted in the the specifications provided by the state. So we'll move that money someplace else in the project as well. And that's good.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is one of the contracts that you are doing on an alternative procurement process as a result of the time frame for the grant running out. This requires 4 affirmative votes to approve and your determination that it's necessary to waive your procurement code.
City Clerk, do we have any comments card pertaining to Resolution 2018-29?
No, sir.
Thank you. City Commissioners, having had Resolution 2018-29 properly read into the minutes and provided an overview by the City Manager, what's your pleasure?
I'd like to make a motion to move, to move Resolution 2018-29.
A second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Hill and properly seconded by Commissioner Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of Resolution 2018-29. Call for questions. Question. City Manager, since this is a resolution that requires a supermajority vote and it does, are there a threat of this not meeting deadline if we don't proceed and bypass our regular procurement process?
Yeah, if we hold back on not taking this particular step that the city attorney has offered, yeah, there would be a threat for not finishing on by deadline, yeah.
Any additional question from the commission?
But as long as we take action now.
Correct.
We won't.
Yeah,
we're
we're
good.
fine.
See a
That's
threat.
why we
Yeah.
just need to go ahead and roll call.
There are no additional questions. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution 2018-29 passes by a unanimous vote. Now we'll move to Resolution 2018-30. City Attorney.
This resolution of the commission authorizes and directs the mayor to execute the Old Pahokee High School beautification agreement between A Genesis Construction LLC and the city of Pahokee. This contract is in the amount of $65,900.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief overview?
This particular project will be the painting of the old Pahokee High School exterior, doing landscaping, sealing the building up, and beautifying the outside of the building in anticipation that we will find the necessary funds to do the interior renovations in the coming year or year or two. We know there's been a lot of conversation about this particular building. It's on the National Historic Registry. You have a lot of residents who are very particular about this building and our upkeep of it. So this would, at least for now, provide an exterior improvement to this location in front of us, and also provide, you know, a hope that it will increase the beautification along with all the other projects that are going to occur here at Parks and Recreation. So now we're going to just do the exterior improvement of the painting, landscaping, and some irrigation. Take down some trees, install some nice palm trees, and make it livable from an exterior point of view as we move forward with finding the necessary funds for the internal.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, City Attorney. City Clerk, do we have any comments card pertaining to Resolution 2018-30?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. City Commissioners, Having had resolution 2018-30 properly read into the minutes, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, I would like to offer a motion that we accept resolution 2018-30.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly second by Commissioner Hill for the adoption of resolution 2018-30. Call for questions. Question, City Manager, what would be the color of the building? And the reason I ask, I know we have a lot of debate and a lot of controversy, and a lot of talk about the post office when it was painted, so I'm just wondering for my protection.
It's not going to be purple, I can guarantee you that.
Would it be a similar color?
It's going to be
beige-looking
a
color?
similar earth tone color. We're trying to, as we move forward as a city, we're trying to get back to those standard earth tone colors that are attractable. I recommended to the company the color that you see at Muck City Road and State Road 98, that brown and earth tone color that you see, that beige and that brown be the striping on it, and the actual beige be the actual color of the building. If you look at my 2016 State of the City address, and you see that large picture of the old Pahokee High School, it's that exact same color that's there that we actually want to put on that building. And it's a pretty color. And it'll meet all of our specifications when it comes to starting to build a universal look along Main Street, because we do plan to repaint these buildings that we're sitting in to a much more brighter color, and it'll probably be along that color palette, that light beige and brown. So it's a nice color. Won't be red, yellow, or green, or blue of any sort. It will be that earth tone color that you typically see in a downtown area that is acceptable in a business corridor or entertainment district.
Mr. Mayor, may I say something?
Yes, sir. Okay.
In support of the city manager, the colors that he has chosen, I had the opportunity last week to come from Everglades City on Mr. Lambert's boat here, and we came through 3 lots, and all of the state properties were painted that nice colors that you're talking about. So it would be uniform with the state.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. City Commissioners, having had resolution 2018-30,
Mayor, sorry.
go ahead.
If I can interrupt. We're not just painting the building, we'll be putting in some fiber type windows that look like windows, but they're really not windows, but it'll prevent anyone from breaking inside of the building, living in it, etc. It'll really be dressed up to an extent, as I said, that it almost look like you can walk up to the door and go inside and do business. So I just want to make that as a reference, because right now we just have plywood there.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been an eyesore, so, and it's gonna be there, so we really need to make it look attractive.
Yeah.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bat.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution 2018-30 passes by a unanimous vote. Now we'll move to resolution 2018-31. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution of the City of Pahokee authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the Commissioners Park Improvement Agreement between Lynch Paving and Construction, Inc. and the City of Pahokee. This is the contract that you awarded earlier in the agenda, and this is the actual contract itself for $501,980.
Thank you, City Attorney. Having had this already explained, had an overview by the city manager, we don't need that particular explanation. City Commissioners, having had resolution 2018-31 properly read into the minutes, what's your pleasure?
I'd like, Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, I'd like to offer a motion that we accept resolution 2018-31.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Everett and properly second by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of Resolution 2018-31. Call for questions. Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bat.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Resolution 2018-31 passes by a unanimous vote. Now we'll have Resolution 2018-32. City Attorney.
Mayor, this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the Campground and Marina Petroleum Fueling Pumps Agreement between Petroleum Marine Construction LLC and the City of Pahokee. This contract is in the amount of $54,860. This does require a supermajority of the commission to approve as a result of time frame under the grant.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief overview?
This is the contract for petroleum marine construction. We were very fortunate to have the opportunity to communicate with the original installers of this particular facility. They are welcoming the opportunity to come back and renovate this facility and upgrade it to operational status. They will look into replacing all the electrical panels which were stolen and put gas in the tank so we can start benefiting, one, revenue-wise from selling gas. Two, it would increase our traffic of boats in this area. When they pull into the marina, then I have an opportunity to refuel on their way either to Fort Myers or to the Atlantic Ocean. So the ability to have fuel in your tanks, a dock master there to fill those boats up goes a long way for economic development for the marina and for this city, because you can have a host of other activities around now having the ability to fuel up tanks on boats and sell fuel. So it's been sitting there for quite some time, and again, it just loans itself to increasing our ability to bring in those larger boats, any boat really, and to buy gas. There's a reason why they kind of sail past us when they come into Pahokee. There's no gas. And along with the restaurant getting open, hopefully in the fall, gas pumps not operating, you'll see a high visibility of activity occurring in the park. People getting off their boats, coming to the restaurant, hopefully coming into the city of Pahokee to shop and buy and invest in the city of Pahokee, financially. And so just by having gas in those tanks and everyone knowing that owns a boat goes a long way for promoting the city of Pahokee and that marina.
Thank you.
Their estimated time for completion is beyond the June 30th date based on the severity of what they have to do as far as a safety is concerned, or making sure those tanks operate correctly at the marina. That noise is them painting the walls next door. That's the roller. So significant improvement there. It also have a POS destination station to track all the fuel being sold as well. So look forward to getting that finally working in the city of Pahokee.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, City Attorney. City Commissioners haven't had Resolution 2018-32 properly read into the minutes. What's your pleasure?
I'd like to make a motion to move resolution 2018-32.
Second.
Sorry.
It has been moved by Commissioner Hill and properly second by Commissioner Mervin for the Commissioner Everett for the adoption of Resolution 2018-32. Call for questions. Questions, City Manager. I know you kind of alluded to it, but just want to make sure that this particular resolution is required based on our time frame, that if we go through our regular procurement process, we'll be in jeopardy of meeting the deadline.
That's correct, Mayor Bam, that's correct. And that's really correct for most of these projects we've approved here today is the opportunity to have this alternative procurement process to ensure we get them online and moving forward as quickly as possible. As I said earlier, we anticipate, you know, a timeline beyond the due date. And I've had that conversation with the state already, that some of these projects, based on the severity of them, may go beyond the July 1st. And so we're working out, you know, some amendments to where we can keep working forward and there's no penalty with this particular project. As you know, phase 2 scope of work is already in Tallahassee. They're developing that contract now. So I've had these conversations with the contract manager in Tallahassee. Thankfully, that same contract manager also manages phase 1 and 2, and she understands the severity of the timeline that we're under based on some of the legalities, things that we face with a prior entity on these particular projects. So they're aware of it. They anticipate that we'll come back and ask them maybe for some additional time, but it won't be a surprise to them based on the setbacks that we've had and the difficulty of coming online.
One brief question, City Manager. You know, a small minority of us, and when I say us, I'm not including myself, may be a little doubtful. I know you mentioned about the traffic of the amount of boats that we bypassed us because of our pump not being operational. How confident are you in having those boats coming in and visit? And I say that to make a point because I had the privilege of walking the pier yesterday evening. Something that I hadn't done in a while, and it brought back some fond memories that I mentioned in one of our commission meetings. And it was just by coincidence, providence, a gentleman from Wellington said that he was, you know, on his motorcycle, and he came over to the pier, and the GPS system had it labeled resort, you know, our pier, and he came over to spend some, you know, the time, and it would have been, you know, it would have been great if we had that restaurant. So I guess my question is, in short, because I know some of us do want to go, how confident are we in attracting those types of persons to our marina?
Well, I think I'm about 150% Robert Lambert confident that once we get through these renovations, get the restaurant back open, they have some very unique advertising ideas that will go beyond the state of Florida to host a lot of activities. Subsequently, the commission got the email last week about, you know, that vessel making its way down the Mississippi River into New Orleans and on its way here, hopefully, in the coming months. That will significantly change the landscape here in the city of Pahokee if that vessel gets here and anchors here in the city of Pahokee at that marina. So they're not just sitting back. Hopefully this group that's coming in, Everglades Reserve Holding, they have a very strategic advertising plan for the Pahokee Marina, for the restaurant, for the campground. It's just the city has to do their part now to get it prepared for what they want to do with it. So I'm about 100%, you know, accurate that we're going to increase the activity as well as start providing those seasonal, even annual events as a jazz festival on the lake, you know, concerts, etc., improving the campground participation rate beyond just the fall months. It's about advertising. It's about having the right facility. As you said, it's wonderful that you mentioned resort, because this is a resort-style area that hasn't had the opportunity to get that resort-style amenities, you know, built on it, or that type of approach as a resort style of area. We're never going to be Walt Disney, but we certainly will have that ecotourism environment that will bring about will bring more opportunity as far as activity and tourism coming to the city of Pahokee. The old restroom at the end of the north side of what we call the public side, that's an old restroom that we're not going to, you know, renovate into a restroom. We're going to gut it out and make it for bicycle rentals and maybe a bait and tackle shop. So things like that are what's needed at the marina to attract and hold people's attention that are coming in from other areas and even for our own residents. So I'm about 150% sure that tourism will pick up here. But again, you know, we'll never be Walt Disney, but we want to have that environment that we have a significant improvement in participation of residents first at the marina and public side and campground, and then our folks who live in Canada and New York and Wyoming and California and Texas and Alabama can come and spend 2 or 3 days, or even that new community coming up on Arden. Those folks, as I said before, those folks are going to make a decision on Friday afternoons. They're either going to turn left and go downtown, or they're going to turn right and come, you know, to the city of Pahokee and to the Glades to enjoy a 2-day, you know, event, you know, on the lake. And those things I'm very confident can come to the city of Pahokee. And I'm hoping to come here, you know, in our lifetime, you know, to make sure that this city is just as vibrant and as forthcoming as all these other cities that we see on lakes around other states and you know, in the heartland of Florida. So I'm very confident that these projects will move us forward. And we haven't heard of all the ideas that this particular entity is going to bring to that marina, but I'm excited to hear what they have to say, and we'll hold their feet to the fire to ensure that they meet, you know, that those promises that they have that they say they would deliver to this city beyond the Pahokee Marina.
We have
I'm
someone,
confident that
Mr. Mayor, we do have someone waiting to make a comment if it's acceptable.
I just want to add to what he's saying that he didn't mention is the fact that through lore and a bunch of tourism council meetings that we've been working with Glenn Jorgensen with the Tourism Council of Palm Beach County, for the first time ever in my lifetime, Glenn Jorgensen is welcoming any information and wants to come out here, and the Tourism Council is ready to jump on this like crazy and throw us into the Palm Beach advertisement and throw us in all over the states and the United States, wherever it goes. The Jorgensen is thrilled to get something out here for the Glades to market through the Tourism Council. I know there's been multiple conversations taking place, but the tourism event that Lore had, that we had with Mr. Jorgensen, he was more than open and willing and ready to come assist in any and every way with Robert on the advertising and everything for out here. So it's not just what they're doing on their own. The Tourism Council is ready to embrace this development as well.
Very good. Mr. Mayor, if I,
And to answer your question, I'll be your first customer for the diesel because I need a couple of 100 gallons, and as you know, the marina's in the basin here, and this guy was supposed to stop in Clewiston and get fuel, and what was the problem in Clewiston?
Well, it was pouring rain, and we were in Clewiston Wednesday afternoon, and we pulled in, and it was very difficult to maneuver around to the fuel dock, and there was only one little space. And the boat ahead of me said, oh, it'll take you at least an hour and a half. And then Robert's captain, I stayed on the boat, the captain walked up to the dock house, and there was one girl there, and she was all confused, and she said, I'm all by myself, I can't help you now, it's going to take an hour. And we had to get through the locks and make it. So therefore, they weren't very friendly. And if I were writing, I didn't want to do it to Roland and Marianne Martin, but if I were a customer, I would have written a very unfavorable review in Yelp or whatever. And that's, you know, hospitality is what's needed. As we helped those Bahamians last night. That came here on a boat. They were running from the storm in Panama City, and they got here in the Pahokee, and they pulled up on the dock with no electricity, and they came over and asked us, we need to get to the Bahamas. And I looked at them, and next thing you know, Robert's pulling the boat, and Jan is pulling the boat, and I gave them my battery charger, and they were very happy. I don't know if they went up and registered and paid or not. That's not our responsibility at this point. Probably not. But anyhow, they were happy campers, and off to the Bahamas they went.
I need a couple 100 gallons of fuel, so I'll be your first customer.
and one of the things I do want to add very briefly, Mr. Mayor, if I'm in order, and even in our attempts to attract tourists, one of the most rewarding things about my stroll on the Dyke Marina yesterday was the number of residents that was enjoying
The
our
fish are
prize.
biting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
And
up
I
there
thought we
several
were, I
times.
thought we were having a fishing tournament.
Yeah,
The
they-
number of
Yes.
individuals that,
Yeah, on the other end,
on both
exactly.
ends that were
I've been
enjoying.
up there
So
several times.
I think that's also noteworthy that, you know, our citizens are definitely enjoying that experience.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments, questions?
No, Mayor, there were a couple more things we wanted to put on the agenda.
We still have a resolution and
Oh.
on the floor. I'm sorry. Any additional comments? Questions? Hearing none. Are you ready for vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bat.
Yes. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor, Commission for moving
I'm
these
sorry,
projects.
let me just, resolution 2018-32 passes by unanimous vote. Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you for moving these projects forward. We'll bring them online as quickly as possible. There are a couple of other projects we wanted to bring before you. One was the authorization to move forward with PNC Bank for the football field renovations. Myself and the city attorney were still working out some details with that. The bank did respond back about one of their reviews of how the loan would be staggered, but hopefully we can get that worked out between now and maybe next week, so we can move forward with Parks and Recs renovations to their football field. That's still, very, important as far as Parks and Recs is concerned. We got other surtax projects that we have to bring before you as well. So we look forward to bringing those to you over the next, several weeks. I do realize the city attorney may not be fully available. I think he's taking a break, but we'll try to, I don't know if that cell phone works where he's going, but we'll try to get some agreements in front of him so he can review them and make sure they're of the legal perspective as we move forward here. But we're trying to get these projects out as quickly as possible. We know it's been a very long time, and we really want to get to work and get ramped up here and get moving forward. So thank you very much for all of your support this morning. And Gary, thank you for working very hard on this, because I know we and you've gone back and forth, and you want to make sure that we're in the right environment legally to ensure we don't get stuck holding the bag, as we say. So we appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, City Manager. Now we'll move into the discussion, comments, concerns of the City Commission. We're going to ask that you kind of, at least today, narrow your comments to some of the transactions that maybe have transpired and comments concerning that. I'll start. I'm pleased with the progress that we're making. Most of the majority of these funds were secured in 2017. These projects are now coming online. We postponed it, or at least canceled our regular commission meeting at our last meeting just to participate in Pahokee graduation, but we did commit to coming back if there are some business that come before us that need to be expedited, and we're going to continue to do that. So even though it may not be a regular commission meeting scheduled, we'll certainly call a meeting if needed. And we're just going to ask the commission, I don't know if any of you all watched the, or are watching the NBA championship games that are occurring, but if you look at those players on the sideline who are not in the game, they're cheering. So what I'm alluding to is we have to be the cheerleaders first for ourselves, and get that energy out to the community to let them know that we're excited. So some of your Facebook posts, some of your talk with the community, kind of get them pepped up for things to come. As our city manager indicated, in the next 6 to 9 months, we should see a major transformation of Pahokee. So let's start the cheering for that and push these items forward. We'll move now to Commissioner Hill for any comments or concerns.
Oh, nothing much. I just want to just commend everyone for all the hard work, and the city manager as well. And I just want you guys, the city attorney, I want everybody to just continue, let's just continue to move forward. Everything looked like it's playing itself out, so let's pray that it just continues to stay on a positive note.
Thank you. Commissioner Walker.
No comment.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Everett.
I do have some brief comments, and my comments will be contingent on how long the responses are. Very quick one, which is definitely important, an update on Techno Marine and getting those dollars.
They refuse to give the money back. We have a lawsuit that I've drafted that'll probably be filed today or tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Another one, while I was strolling the pier, a few of the citizens stated that, and I'm asking this question publicly so that it can be recorded and people can go back and reference and see that it's very, I really feel like it's possibly a fallacy, so that we can correct any misnomer that was communicated. But it was stated that the code enforcer was telling local residents that they could not fish on the pier. Now, I do know that while work is being done, it wouldn't be safe for citizens to be fishing while construction or work is going on. That's understood and given. But any other time outside of that, has there been any communication stating to that effect?
I'm not prepared to give you an update on what code enforcement told anyone this past weekend. I do know when construction projects start, the first thing we do is we address safety. And we sent out several leaflets over a 2-week time frame, even before they did pressure washing, and say, hey, certain areas of the marina will close, certain areas will reopen back up, certain areas will be closed permanently for maybe a month or two, but it will come back to full operation. So we did our due diligence in informing the public. Now, when most of these projects actually start, there will be a time period where you cannot go onto the seawall because it's just too dangerous. And you have a lot of equipment out there, you have workers out there, so even in after hours, after 5 o'clock, those areas will be cordoned off where you can't go out there to disturb the work that's occurring during daylight hours. And so our citizens and our residents and even our tourists will just have to adjust for a while until we can get all of these projects completed. We have major resurfacing that will come before you for approval, which means you probably won't be able to drive in the entire area of the marina for quite some time until we finish all the construction. So what we're trying to do is trying to stagger the projects, but it will be a time where you won't be able to get to certain areas of the marina because of the construction, because of the safety, and because of what we always see on the highway is allow them to work signs that you see about construction workers and companies of this sort. So I don't know what occurred this past weekend, but we've already did our due diligence in informing the public, and we'll continue doing that. We'll continue putting that flyer out, Commission and Mayor, to ensure that people are aware that there's going to be ongoing construction, renovations. Be prepared to have alternative traffic routes into the marina. Also get to the point, be prepared where there'll be certain areas you just can't go in. The public side is getting an entire new paved street and down the entire public side, so it'll get to a point where that side will completely shut down for construction. But as I said before, we're trying to stagger these projects and also keep them on a time frame, but not keep people away from the marina. But at the same time, in order for us to get most of this done, we'll have to close, and open throughout the next 45 to 60 days to get significant work done.
I guess the specific question I'm asking, just for clarity, because our meetings are viewed as public, just for clarity and to correct, a lot of our job is not only to be cheerleaders and shouting out the great things that are going on, and I say this honestly, we do have some great things going on and I'm excited about it. But our job also, and I think Commissioner Mervin definitely, because, you know, and I want to say this so no one will go out and say we were breaking sunshine, but, you know, that's a public place, and our paths met there. And so a part of our job is also to put out fires because of others may be putting out miscommunication, be it deliberate or unintentional. So, you know, I just want to clear up that, hey, no one has said that citizens could not fish where they normally fish unless work is being done.
Correct.
So that's my job as one of the gatekeepers, is to make sure that misinformation is not communicated,
Right.
and that our citizens don't feel like they're not,
Right.
you know, able to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Commissioner,
And a lot of people are speaking to that too, and I want to put that out there, that it was a lot more fish on the north end
Well, there is.
as it was where they normally fish. Some folk were
Yeah.
having some great time. You know?
Yeah.
Commissioner, I'm glad you brought that up because it's an issue that we need to address. Under the draft lease that we have with Everglades, that's currently up in the state to hopefully get approval on, that agreement provides that the South Pier, they can charge for fishing up to $5 a head, and that's up to them, whether they charge or not. And the North Pier will be open for fishing only until the new fishing pier is completed. The new fishing pier plans seem to be up in the air at this point, so we may have to address that issue with Everglades before that agreement is signed.
We have no plans to charge anybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lambert.
All right.
Thank you for clearing that up, because who was getting ready to start.
All right, we'll delete that from the contract.
All right.
Just for clarity.
All right. Thank you so much for the clarity. Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Oh, let me just say this. In closing, I just want to thank the city manager, city staff for your hard work and for seeing these projects through. And I'm just tickled pink, you know, for a brother with my hue, to see these things on the horizon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Everett. Vice Mayor Mervin.
Well, also up on the pier, running into Commissioner Everett, who just
Yeah, please make that point, because I don't
Yes.
want nobody saying we broke sunshine. I rode my car and you drove yours,
Yes.
okay? All right.
It just that, I guess it just was a path that God took us in, and while we was up there, we was able to talk to some of the residents that was up there and address some of the concerns that they had, which was really good concerns. One of them, again, I know that, like you say, they listens to the commission meetings, and one of them was also the fencing or the railing that's going up on the seawall. And they will like a explanation of what, I know they had the 42 inches of the seawall, but they're trying to picture, will they still be able to fish? They fine with the safety up there and with the railing or so, but they would like to know, will they still be able to come up on the, special now since Mr. Lambert is not charging once it get done on that end, will they still be able to cast their poles across that railing? And so they were asking about what kind of railing, what kind of fencing, you know, that will have up there. So we would like to get clarity, you know, probably a short clarity from the city manager or from the attorney on what kind of fencing or railing, or even Mr. Lambert, whoever knows, so we could get that back to our residents.
It's normal fencing that you see at piers. It's nothing elaborate. It will be of a certain, not stainless, but aluminum. But it's the typical old fencing that you see at all fishing piers. It's nothing that, it's not elaborate, but it's for safety. It will be where a kid can't climb up on it and go through the bars and fall over in. You won't have that. But it will be of a strength where if you lean on it, it won't fall, you won't break it and fall into the lake. But nothing elaborate. But it will be safe. It'll be designed where kids can't squeeze between, you know, the outlets to fall in. It'll be designed where you can lean on it. Hopefully not lean on it, but lean on it and it doesn't break. And it will be of the specified height that we spoke of earlier, where it's still available, where you can still fish and cast a line.
Okay, because I noticed, you know, like some of the railing you have out there already, the gate, the black gate, aluminum.
That's not the railing. That's
Okay.
that's a gate. That's
Yeah,
a
I'm saying
gate
would it be
door.
sort of, okay,
Yeah.
but anyway.
That's a gate door.
All right, well, that's declared that they will be able to fish over the railing.
Right.
That's a good thing. But my comment is, I just like to say again, thank you to the city manager, the staff, city attorney, Mr. Lambert, the Everglades Holding, and something that came to me, I had wrote down, I just want to say, I am spiritual, but I would like to ask God to bless the hands, you know, of the ones that opened the doors for us for the city of Pahokee, that we're getting, it's not just talk anymore, it's actually work getting done. And we want to thank God for that. And also bless those who have paved the way also, and bless those who are catching hold to the vision of the city of Pahokee. And I would just like to say, let's continue moving forward.
Having all business that have came before us taken care of, Chair will now entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
One second.
Been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly second by Commissioner Hill for the adjournment of the meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Everett,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion to adjourn, pass unanimous. Meeting adjourned.